This is the worst prom ever.
What if your ex-boyfriend was really your ex-girlfriend?
Prom has quite its ups and downs, and a few familiar faces return in the summer finale of The Fosters. Let's break it down right here on What Happened. How's it going, you lovely people? Lisa here with the last Fosters recap for the summer, and it leaves us with another cliffhanger. And I just want to say kudos to the writers of The Fosters for always being so relevant with the issues they tackle. The first storyline to talk about is what is going to happen to Anchor Beach. While everyone is away at prom, Lena stays home and gets a visit from Monty. It turns out Monty has had a job offer to be the principal at another charter, which is a better school and has better pay. And another perk, she can hire her own vice principal. So she asks Lena to come with her and they can even be co-principals. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal, right? Lena is caught off guard and reminds Monty that if they get the student vote, they only have to get one more board member to vote their way and they win and save Anchor Beach. Monty then points out that even if they win, the board still wants her fired and they're also after Lena too, and she'd rather not go to school every day with a target on her back. Monty also says Lena's kids could just finish out the year at Anchor Beach, then go to the new school next year, and if they don't jump ship, they're going down either way. Jude overhears this and is not happy about it and confronts Lena after Monty leaves. Jude is upset, but Lena tells him she might not have a choice when it comes to bailing on Anchor Beach. Later at the prom, Mariana gets a text from someone who says that they know who destroyed the school model. Mariana asks who it is and they say they can help her save the school, but she wants to know who they are. Before Mariana can read the reply of who it is, she's interrupted by Matt, more on that later by the way, to go dance, and she leaves her phone on the table. And who is it that is actually texting her and knows who destroyed the school model? It's none other than Nick Stratos. So I'm guessing he may reappear in the second half of season 5 and will maybe help out Mariana and go against his father. But will he be in a good enough state of mind? Are his intentions in the right place? Or will he just cause more trouble? Guess we're just gonna have to wait and find out. Now let's go on with Brandon and Grace. Now for those of you that figured out Grace's secret, you get a gold star, if I actually had gold stars. Brandon and Grace have basically been having their own walk to remember storyline as Grace's mom tells Brandon that Grace had leukemia as a child. It flared up again when she was 13 and then she went into remission. Unfortunately, the cancer recently resurfaced and the prognosis does not look good. So she's taking Grace back home so she can undergo chemotherapy. Now Grace doesn't know that Brandon knows, so her mom asks him not to tell her. So Brandon decides to make prom the best night of Grace's life. And well, I guess the clues have actually been there all along, and I finally figured it out kind of last episode, but why I didn't get it sooner? Not sure. I mean, Grace worked in a hospital with sick kids, and it's probably because she used to be one of those kids, and then she also tries to do one thing a day that scares her, basically a bucket list. Yeah, now it's just all so clear. Brandon takes Grace to prom, and in between dances, he goes and asks Callie for the box he asked her to hold. He also ends up telling Callie about Grace and asks Callie not to tell anyone since Grace doesn't even know he knows. So what's in the box? Brandon is super sweet and bought Grace a tiara to make her his prom queen, and the two dance, but you can definitely tell that Grace is getting weaker. After the dance, they're sitting in bed together, and Grace still hasn't told him the truth, but she makes him promise that if for some reason she can't go to Coachella, he'll still go without her. Brandon tells her they'll just go together, and then he tells her he loves her and she says she loves him. And it is super sweet, but I do have to say Brandon tends to fall in love pretty fast. Haven't they only been dating officially for maybe a few weeks? Now let's talk about Tess and Stef. Since Drew canceled prom, Mariana has gathered everyone to pull together funds and everything, and the students are putting on their own prom, and Tess and Stef have been enlisted to chaperone. At the punch bowl, Tess tells Stef she feels like there's some tension and asks if she did anything wrong, and it's like, really? It's taken you this long to realize there's tension between the two of you? Stef basically asks Tess if she's homophobic, to which Tess gives the typical, me? What? No, I've had a gay friend in my life. That doesn't mean I'm homophobic. I know a gay person. Stef then asks Tess if she did all the stuff they did together in high school with her other friends who were girls, and Tess then says she just doesn't want to open up that can of worms and walks away. After getting some time to gather her thoughts though, Tess goes back to sit and talk with Stef and tells her that moving back caused all these feelings she had repressed to resurface, and she did not do those things with her other girlfriends. Tess says she's been unhappy for a long time and she's been trying to figure it out, and maybe this whole time she's been living a lie. She did actually have feelings for Stef back in high school and has been denying them ever since, and says that maybe that's been the problem the whole time. What if she's gay? Before we can get Stef's reaction to all of this, Callie interrupts, but it's for a good reason that I'll talk about in a bit. So in the second half of the season, will Tess come out? And if she does, what will that do to her family? And will that cause tension between Stef and Lena, since Tess was Stef's first crush? Maybe they can all just be friends. I mean, things somehow managed to end up working out okay with Monty after all that drama. Moving on to Mariana, Jesus, Emma, and also the drama with Logan and his girlfriend Olivia. So like I mentioned, Drew canceled prom, so Mariana has decided to throw a rebel prom. Side note, we do get to see what Gabe wrote to Jesus in that letter, and it basically says that Gabe took the job in Tahoe and he thinks Jesus should go back to school, and when Jesus is a senior, they can get back together and work on the treehouse. But for now, they both need to get back on their feet. Okay, back to the storyline. So Logan and Olivia come over to talk to Mariana about the prom, and yeah, it's pretty much awkward. Olivia tells Mariana to not be embarrassed that she doesn't have a date and they're going as a group, and of course Mariana then blurts out she does have a boyfriend or a date, and it's her ex, and they just got back together, so he's going to be her prom date. And while all this is happening, Callie's just sitting on her bed in the background, rolling her eyes at the new web of lies that Mariana is creating for herself. At school, Mariana asks Wyatt, yeah, remember Wyatt, to go to prom with her, but he wasn't really planning on going. She then pulls out the "you took my virginity" card to get him to go with her. On prom night, everyone comes over to take pictures, but Mariana's date isn't there, so of course Olivia keeps hounding her, and Mariana is like, hey, my date's gonna meet us at the dance. When they arrive at the prom, wise Callie tells Mariana this whole plan is gonna backfire on her, and when Mariana goes to find Wyatt, he's not only super high, he is very drunk, and yet it's starting to crumble on Mariana as she is now on the hunt for a new fake boyfriend. Meanwhile, Poppy asks Jesus to take photos with her even though he's not her date, and Emma sees this and assumes that they are, so she goes to drown her sorrows. She goes over to ask Wyatt for some of his special water. During her search for a new prom date, Mariana runs into Matt and the two start talking. Olivia sees the two talking from afar and asks if that's Mariana's date. Matt tells Mariana that he's been meaning to talk to her and he's sorry for how he ended things, but he still... Then Poppy interrupts and it's like, you still what, Matt? Like, what were you going to say? That you love her, maybe? That you still have feelings for her? Poppy interrupts Mariana to tell her that Olivia thinks Matt is her date and she needs to go ask Matt to dance. Mariana then goes to try to ask Matt when Zoe interrupts, so Mariana thinks that those two are actually back together dating, and she panics when Matt asks her what she was going to ask him. Mariana makes up some raffle and Matt gives her $20 and she walks off and sits down next to Emma. Drunk Emma asks Mariana if Poppy is Jesus' date, and Mariana says no, she's just my friend and we came as a group. Emma then asks Mariana what the $20 is for.
Ooh, there's a raffle? No.
Oh man, drunk Emma is kind of fun. Mariana then tells Emma her predicament and Emma has a solution. What if your ex-boyfriend was really your ex-girlfriend? So Mariana and Emma go over to Logan and Olivia and pretend to be dating, and they even give each other a big old smooch, and Stef's face during this whole exchange is just priceless. Like, I just want to watch this part on repeat. Everyone is now confused basically as they watch Emma and Mariana dance together, pretend to be girlfriends. Jesus asks Poppy why they're slow dancing and leave it to Poppy.
Because it's a slow song.
Then drunk Emma isn't so fun anymore as she runs to the bathroom to puke, leaving Mariana alone on the dance floor. Jesus goes to talk to Emma and asks if she and Mariana are friends again, and Emma says no, we're lovers. And Jesus just doesn't quite get it at first, so Emma has to lay it out for him. Jesus then tells Emma he loves her and is an idiot, and he doesn't care if she doesn't want him for forever. He only cares about right now, and he wants another chance. He's sorry for not being himself, and he wants to try to get to that place again to be himself and be the man that Emma deserves. Okay, Emma, I gotta say, Jesus' speech, pretty good. I mean, it won me over. I'd date him right now, maybe. When Mariana goes over to ask Logan and Olivia if they're having fun, they ask if that's her girlfriend over there making out with her brother. Then Wyatt shows up and kisses Mariana, and yeah, things are just snowballing for this poor girl. Mariana then goes off to sit at her own table, and she's sitting alone when she gets the text I mentioned earlier. Matt then comes over and asks about the raffle, and Mariana has to tell him the truth. There's no raffle, and she has to give the money back. Mariana then finally says she was going to ask Matt to dance, but she thought he and Zoe were back together. Thankfully, Matt says they're not together, and he would love to dance with her. Now, could this be the couple rekindling their romance? Because if so, I'm kind of for it. Okay, last storyline deals with Callie Aaron, AJ, and Ximena. The episode picked up where the last one left off with Callie, Ximena, and AJ at the protest. As Shiloh McCollan arrives, a guy in a camo jacket moves from the side to behind Callie and ends up throwing a cocktail bomb into the street, basically causing chaos. Callie grabs AJ and tries to grab Ximena, telling them they have to get out of there because they could get arrested, but Ximena refuses to break the line, so Callie runs off with only AJ. When AJ asks why she made him leave, she basically says, "You want to go to art school, right?" Callie is hanging out with Aaron later and reveals that Ximena is not answering her calls or texts, and she's worried about her and that maybe she got arrested or something. Aaron asks Callie who all was at the protest, and we all know full well he knows who was there. He was standing there. Before Callie can answer, Mariana waltzes in and interrupts to give Callie an update on the Rebel Prom. She says she talked to Ximena, and Ximena said they could use the Derby warehouse for prom. Well, now Callie knows for sure that Ximena is okay and must just be mad at her. At prom, Aaron asks Callie if the moms would be okay with them taking a road trip in the summer, which confuses Callie because Aaron's supposed to be going to New York for an internship. Aaron tells Callie he just decided to not take it, and when Callie prods a little more, Aaron just says he decided to not take it. That's it. Callie and Aaron then run into AJ and Dawn and have a short, nice, awkward exchange. Aaron then asks Callie when was the last time she saw AJ, and Callie just says, oh, she sees him all the time at school. Just say what you wanna say, Aaron. Callie then sees Ximena and goes to talk to her while Aaron and AJ make some awkward eye contact across the room. Callie apologizes to Ximena, and Ximena tells Callie that what she did, she had to do. She then tells her that she's not mad at Callie. What makes Ximena mad is how hard and how much her parents work so that Poppy and her can have opportunities, and they do the jobs that people who are trying to kick them out of the country don't even want to do, yet those same people say the immigrants are stealing all their jobs. Ximena then says,
all these hateful people coming out of the woodwork? If this is what America stands for, then maybe this country was never great.
After all this, Callie then goes to find Aaron, and Aaron finally asks what he's wanted to say this whole episode. Why AJ was at the protest and if Callie went with him. Callie says AJ went on his own, and how would Aaron have known? So then Aaron has to tell her that he was actually at the protest, and Callie's like, oh, I don't appreciate being spied on. She then tells Aaron to basically stop playing his little games, and if he wanted to know why AJ was there, he could have just been straight up and asked instead of trying to trap her in a lie. She then tells Aaron he has nothing to worry about. He doesn't need to be threatened by AJ. There's nothing going on. They're just friends. And then she figures out that Aaron isn't taking the internship because he doesn't trust her and wants to stay with her for the summer. When Callie says all this, Aaron snaps at her with this.
Oh, it was pretty easy for me to steal you from him, so how hard could it be for him to steal you back?
Wrong move, dude, because Callie then snaps right back at him.
I am not a piece of property. You didn't steal me from anyone. If that's how highly you think of me, then this is done.
All I gotta say is, you go, Callie. Aaron later wants to talk, but Callie tells him she's tired of having stupid fights with jealous boys, so Aaron says he'll go wait in the car until she's ready to talk. And of course, AJ is watching all of this happen from afar. As Callie sits by herself, we see her watching Brandon and Grace dancing, and I can't help but wonder, does Callie maybe still have some kind of feelings for Brandon? Or is she watching them dance because they're seemingly happy and she wishes that's how her night was going? What's going on there? Callie then gets up to leave prom, and as she walks out, she sees two men from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, otherwise known as ICE, looking for Ximena. Callie goes inside to tell Stef, so Stef takes matters into her own hands and cuffs Ximena and takes her out of the building, telling the ICE officers she's arresting Ximena for underage possession of alcohol. Stef puts Ximena in the back of the car and then goes to hash things out with the ICE officers. When Stef gets back at the car, Ximena is gone. That girl snuck out of the car and closed the door so quietly, no one heard it. Stef then sees AJ and Callie drive by and gets a call from Callie saying they have Ximena. Stef tells them to drive carefully so they don't get pulled over since ICE is following them. She then gives Callie some instructions, so Callie calls Jude asking him to call Noah and ask if Noah's mom could give Ximena sanctuary in their church. When they reach the church, AJ, Callie, and Ximena book it for the doors, and they get inside of the church just in the nick of time. Ximena apologizes to Callie and AJ for getting them into all of this, but Callie says it's okay, and now, what are they going to do? They are going to sit inside of that church until Ximena can walk out of there without being detained. Like I said earlier, the Fosters is always right on top of the social issues, and with Ximena and her DACA card and the immigration storyline, and it just fits in right now with what's going on in our country today, especially since Trump just ended DACA. I'm honestly excited to see how this whole thing is going to play into the second half of the season and this storyline. Like, with what happened right now today, how are they going to treat that? And honestly, I'm thankful that this cliffhanger has nothing to do with someone being shot or their life hanging in the balance, but it is still a very important cliffhanger. Alrighty, so some happy things in this episode. Jesus and Emma seem to be back together, and Matt and Mariana might be on their way to rekindling their romance. We then have the new drama of Nick's name popping back up into Mariana's life. How is she going to react when she sees that text? How will everyone else react? And is he really going to help? Callie and AJ might have escaped being arrested at the protest, but helping out Ximena at the end of the episode might have bigger consequences for them if things don't go the way they want. We also have the possibility of Lena taking a new job, and the family might have to move if the school isn't close. Now, some storylines that weren't touched on in this episode that will most likely also have to pop up in the second half of the season are Jude's video game dilemma with Taylor and imminent power, and also Stef's child pornography case and her chase to bring down Patrick Malloy and Detective Gray. Overall, I think it was a great mid-season finale, and one of the less dramatic, in a sense, season finales we've had on the show. Now, I want to hear from you guys in the comments below or on my Twitter. What did you think of this mid-season finale? What were your favorite and least favorite parts? What do you also want to see happen in the second half of season 5? Let me know, then you can click right over here to see some of my latest interviews. And if you like what you see, feel free to hit that thumbs up and give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't. I'm Lisa. Thanks so much for hanging out and chatting all things The Fosters with me.